"I'll break your arm if you say another word," the vice president snarled, ripping the microphone from his hand and twisting his wrist before a stunned crowd of employees. The sharp crack of internal bone pain resonated with the audience's collective gasp. As a black CEO masquerading as an intern, he faced relentless racism, scorn, and sabotage. His brilliance ignored, his voice silenced, his every move met with sneering derision. Yet, behind his stoic mask, a plan for justice simmered, a decade in the making. What happens when the man they so brazenly mocked reveals his true, undeniable power? Can he dismantle a toxic empire built on prejudice and greed? Stay tuned for a riveting story of revenge and triumph. If you're gripped already, smash that subscribe button. You're about to witness corporate warfare unlike anything you've imagined. The Seattle skyline 2015 shimmered under a deceptively bright summer sun, its mosaic of glass and steel promising opportunity to the ambitious. Jamison Blackwood, a lean 22-year-old, stood in Aegis Dynamics' sleek boardroom, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. His neatly pulled-back dreadlocks and slightly too stiff navy blazer marked him as earnest, but his eyes, sharp and burning with conviction, bespoke a deeper fire. As a strategic consultant, he'd poured months of his life into crafting Innovate AI, a revolutionary artificial intelligence initiative designed to streamline global supply chains, with the potential to save corporations billions. This pitch wasn't just a project. It was the lifeline for his fledgling startup, a dream he'd infused with every waking hour, every ounce of his youthful zeal. His gaze swept the dozen executive faces, landing on Vivian Caldwell, Vice President of Operations. A woman in her late 40s, her perfectly coiffed blonde hair and tailored suit screamed old money, old power. Her air radiated an unquestionable authority, to which Jamison, a young black man daring to occupy her hallowed space, was an anomaly. As he outlined predictive algorithms and real-time analytics, Vivian's polished fingernails began a slow, deliberate tap against the gleaming mahogany table, each click a silent, contemptuous dismissal. When he finally concluded, the room held its collective breath. Then, Vivian's lips curled into a low, venomous chuckle. Ambitious. She purred, her tone thick with condescension. But we don't gamble on untested theories from unproven sources. The pause before unproven was agonizingly deliberate, a subtle, yet unmistakable, jab at his youth, his race, his audacious presence. Jamison's jaw tightened, but he held his ground. "The data is solid, Miss Caldwell," he insisted, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. "I've run extensive simulations, rigorously peer-reviewed." "Simulations?" she cut in, leaning forward, her eyes glinting. "This isn't a college project, sweetheart. Aegis plays in the big leagues." Snickers rippled from her inner circle, 4 senior directors who mirrored Vivian's inherent arrogance and casual prejudice. The public rejection stung, a raw wound. Still, Jamison pressed on, citing detailed case studies, projecting impressive ROI. But Vivian merely waved him off, a dismissive flick of her wrist. "We'll pass. Stick to consulting, Mr. Blackwood. Leave the innovation to us." That night, alone in his cramped Seattle apartment, Jamison stared at his laptop, the Aegis rejection letter glowing on the screen like a cruel epitaph. Innovate AI was bleeding cash, every penny of his savings drained. The pitch was supposed to be the lifeline, the transformative contract. Instead, Vivian's chilling words echoed in the silence. Unproven, untested, unfit. He poured himself a glass of cheap whiskey, his hands trembling with a rage that bordered on despair. But the true horror was yet to unfold. Over the following weeks, insidious whispers reached him. Vivian had actively blackballed Innovate AI across the industry. Key clients, once promising, abruptly pulled out, citing vague concerns about reliability. A major Aegis contract, nearly signed, vanished without explanation. By autumn, Innovate AI collapsed entirely. Jamison's meager savings dwindled to nothing, his loyal team scattered, his dreams reduced to a mountain of unpaid bills. In the wreckage of his ambition, he learned the bitter truth. Vivian hadn't merely rejected his dream, she had meticulously orchestrated his utter ruin. Determined to ensure no young black man would ever dare to outshine her. Alone in his darkened apartment, surrounded by boxes of Innovate AI documents, Jamison knelt, his breath catching in his throat. The crushing weight of failure pressed down on him. Years of sacrifice, countless late nights, and defiant struggle against a world that had always doubted him. He traced the faded company logo on a discarded folder, and amidst the ashes of his despair, a cold, hard spark ignited in his chest. "This isn't the end," he whispered, his voice raw but resolute. "I'll take it all back. Every single thing." His vow, born of betrayal and tempered by fire, was a blade honed for justice. He would rebuild, not for fleeting glory, but to exact a righteous retribution. 10 years later, 2025. Jamison Blackwood, 32, stood silhouetted against the floor-to-ceiling windows of a luxurious penthouse office in Seattle, the city lights a glittering tapestry beneath him. The nervous, idealistic consultant was gone. In his place stood a man forged in the crucible of devastating loss. His dreadlocks, once boyishly unruly, were now sleek and meticulously groomed, his tailored blazer a quiet, undeniable declaration of power. He was no longer the dreamer Vivian had so carelessly crushed. He was the intricate architect of her impending undoing. For over a decade, Jamison had clawed his way up from the abyss, grueling night shifts at anonymous tech firms, living frugally, and engaging in relentless freelance coding gigs. He'd pursued an insatiable, self-driven education in high finance and corporate strategy, meticulously building a vast silent network of unwavering allies, shrewd investors, sharp lawyers, and discreet insiders who saw his undeniable brilliance where others had dismissed him. Through a labyrinth of anonymous holding entities, he had meticulously acquired Aegis Dynamics, piece by painstaking piece, until he secretly held the reins as its hidden CEO. To the powerful board, he was only JB, a reclusive genius communicating through encrypted calls. To the arrogant world that had once scorned him, Jamison Blackwood was a ghost. To Vivian Caldwell, he was still absolutely nobody. Aegis, under Vivian's unchecked dominion, had ballooned into a tech titan, but its core was rotting from within. Vivian, still VP of Operations, ruled with an iron fist, her clique fostering a toxic culture of rampant racism, casual harassment, and insatiable greed. Reports reached Jamison's ears. Black employees systematically sidelined and denied promotions, men silenced and ridiculed, whistleblowers ruthlessly fired. Vivian's empire thrived on fear, her arrogance utterly unchecked. She had utterly forgotten the young consultant she'd so casually destroyed, but Jamison hadn't forgotten her. Not for a single moment. He turned from the commanding window, his desk a sprawling command center of glowing monitors and thick dossiers. A file labeled Caldwell lay open, meticulously detailing her extensive misdeeds, brazenly embezzled funds, flagrantly discriminatory emails, covert deals siphoning company secrets to competitors. His loyal team, a tight-knit circle of operatives who knew his true identity, had spent years painstakingly gathering this ironclad evidence. But evidence alone wasn't enough. Jamison needed to personally witness the rot, to walk unseen among the wolves before he delivered the final, devastating strike. His plan was audacious, chillingly precise. infiltrate Aegis as an intern, a seemingly innocuous nobody named Alex Finch. The disguise would be flawless, modest clothes, a fabricated resume, and a hesitant demeanor that would invite immediate dismissal. He would observe Vivian's world up close, documenting every single sin. The very thought of facing her again, entirely unrecognized, sent a thrilling jolt through him. She had mockingly dismissed him as unproven. Soon, she would discover just how catastrophically wrong she had been. Jamison opened a discreet drawer, pulling out a worn Innovate AI business card, its edges soft and frayed with years of handling. It was a tangible relic of his painful past, a constant, tangible reminder of the young man who had dared to dream. He carefully tucked it into his pocket, a silent talisman. Tomorrow, he would step into Aegis's gleaming glass tower, not as a conqueror, but as prey, at least in their eyes. Vivian and her cronies would see nothing but a harmless black intern, an easy target. They would never suspect the magnitude of the storm he carried within. Entering Aegis, Jamison, now Alex Finch, adopted his meek intern persona. He observed managers subtly dismiss Black and Latinx employees, their words laced with prejudice. In the bustling cafeteria, he encountered Leo, a sharp 24-year-old black coder with weary, knowing eyes. "You're the new intern, Alex?" Leo asked, his voice friendly but guarded. Jamison nodded. Leo lowered his voice. "Word of advice, watch your back. This place, it's not what it seems. Some folks here just don't like people who look like us. They'll smile, but it's a trap." Jamison's pulse quickened. He'd found his first ally. His direct observation came during a late afternoon team meeting. Vivian presided, her charisma a polished weapon. Jamison meticulously noted how she ignored a black analyst's input, how her allies nodded in agreement when a Latinx manager, Mateo, suggested a cost-saving measure, only for Vivian to quickly interrupt him. "Let's stick to what works, Mateo." The room chuckled uncomfortably. Then it happened. Mateo bravely cited a $2 million discrepancy in the report. Vivian's smile froze. Jamison, unable to resist, spoke up, his voice soft but clear. "He's right. The vendor's billing cycle doesn't match the ledger. It's off by 2 quarters. The room fell silent. Vivian's predatory gaze snapped to him. "And you are?" she snapped. "Alex Finch, intern," Jamison replied, meeting her eyes with unsettling intensity. Her brow furrowed, a faint flicker of unease crossing her face. Did she sense something familiar? He instantly dropped his gaze, playing the nervous newbie. Vivian leaned back, her smirk returning. "Interns don't audit, Mr. Finch. Stick to coffee runs." The room chuckled, but her eyes lingered, searching, probing. Jamison felt the weight of recognition, faint but growing. She didn't know him, not yet, but the seed of suspicion was firmly planted. As the meeting ended, he overheard Vivian to a director. "That one's got nerve. Keep an eye on him." Jamison sent a coded message to his team. "First contact. She's watching him." 4 weeks into his covert mission, Vivian Caldwell's vendetta sharpened. At the Aegis all-hands meeting, live-streamed to thousands, Vivian called Alex to the stage, handing him a blank folder for a report. It was a public execution. Jamison climbed the stage, the microphone cold in his hand. As he opened his mouth, Vivian snatched it, twisting his arm just enough to make him stumble violently. The folder slipped, papers scattering. A searing pain shot through Jamison's wrist, but he bit back a gasp, his eyes locking with hers. "Know your place and stay there," Vivian hissed, loud enough for the front rows to hear. Her allies chuckled, a cruel chorus. Jamison straightened, his face a mask of stunned deference, but inside, a controlled fire raged. He caught sight of Leo, discreetly recording with his phone. The trap Vivian set had ensnared her instead. That night, in his secure safe house, Jamison shed Alex's drab clothes. Leo's video played, chillingly clear. "This is dynamite," his hacker, Caleb, confirmed. His lawyer, Simone, laid out dossiers, emails where Vivian called black employees affirmative action mistakes, bank records detailing $5 million siphoned through fake vendors, and audio of her smugly plotting to sell proprietary AI code to a rival. "We bury her," Jamison declared. The public video was the final piece, a public act of cruelty to galvanize his case. Reference every frame with HR complaints, Jamison instructed. "I want the names of every employee she's targeted. We're not just taking her down, we're freeing them." Caleb found a hidden server of off-the-books deals. They're sloppy, passwords barely encrypted. The server revealed a network of kickbacks and suppressed whistleblower reports. This wasn't just corruption. It was a malicious machine designed to crush anyone who didn't fit Vivian's mold. The video shifted his timeline. Vivian's assault was a gift, a crack in her armor. He'd call an emergency board meeting tomorrow. Pre-dawn Seattle. Jamison Blackwood, in a sharp charcoal suit, entered Aegis, no longer an intern. He bypassed security with his CEO keycard. In a private suite, he shed his disguise, his dreadlocks falling freely. Caleb and Simone confirmed the FBI was ready. At 8 a.m., Jamison strode into the boardroom. Vivian Caldwell, smug, chatted with her allies. She didn't notice him until he took the head of the table. "Good morning," he announced, his voice commanding. "I'm Jamison Blackwood, sole owner of Aegis Dynamics through my holding entities and, effective immediately, your CEO." The room froze. Vivian's jaw dropped, coffee cup halting. Screens flared to life. The viral video of Vivian assaulting him played, her sneering, "Know your place and stay there," echoing. Gasps rippled. "This," Jamison stated, his tone icy, "is your vice president of operations, but it's only the beginning." The screen shifted, emails calling black employees quota fillers, audio of a $10 million data sale to a rival, bank records showing $5 million siphoned through fake vendors, Vivian's signature on every transaction. Vivian lurched up. "This is absurd. She's an intern." Jamison's gaze pinned her. "An intern you assaulted on a live stream." "An intern who owns this company." Security entered. "As of this moment, you and your 4 accomplices are terminated for cause." As guards flanked Vivian, she hissed, "You set me up." "Who are you?" Jamison stepped close. "I'm the man whose startup you destroyed 10 years ago, Innovate AI. Remember it? You blackballed me, crushed my dreams. But I rebuilt, and now I own you." Recognition, agonizing and absolute, dawned in her eyes. Horror replaced arrogance. She sank, trembling. As she was led away, Jamison's voice cut through the silence. "Power doesn't come from fear. It comes from respect. You will remember that for the rest of your life." The board watched in stunned silence. He smoothed his suit, reclaiming his place. "We have extensive work to do. Aegis's culture is deeply rotten. Starting today, we rebuild it transparently, equitably, and with unwavering integrity." The board, shaken but galvanized, approved his plan unanimously. Jamison's phone buzzed, Caleb confirming the FBI had opened a major case against Vivian and her allies. Social media was ablaze. Jamison knew his war wasn't over, but the first battle was decisively won. 3 days later, the storm raged. Headlines screamed of Vivian's termination, the FBI's investigation, and the viral assault clip. Aegis's stock plummeted. Jamison, in crisis mode, released a press statement admitting past failures and pledging transparency. His steady voice on conference calls quelled panic, stabilizing the stock. Vivian and her allies hired lawyers, claiming wrongful termination, but Jamison's evidence was an iron fortress. Simone confirmed their cases were flimsy. The FB, I was digging into millions in fraud. Jamison enacted immediate reforms, mandatory anti-racism training, anonymous reporting, and a new task force to elevate sidelined talent. He announced these in a company-wide email. "We've failed you. No more." Employees flooded forums with support, sharing stories of Vivian's abuses. Jamison convened an open forum in the auditorium. "I'm Jamison Blackwood, your CEO. I've seen Aegis's darkness firsthand. Speak, and I'll listen." Hands rose. A black male engineer shared how Vivian blocked his promotion. A Latinx analyst recounted forced fraud. Jamison listened, his pen moving. "You are heard. Change starts now." Leo, the coder, approached afterward. "I want in. This place needs people who fight." Jamison saw his own fire. "Leo, you're leading the new diversity task force. Build it strong. Make it foundational." 6 months later, March 2026, Seattle's skyline gleamed, reflecting a transformed Aegis. Forbes crowned Jamison a visionary, celebrating Aegis's transformation into a model of inclusion. His reforms had tripled innovation, secured $200 million in new contracts, and eliminated harassment complaints. Aisha, a brilliant black female engineer Vivian once demoted, now led the AI team, revolutionizing supply chain tech and filing new patents. The backlash, though weakened, persisted. Vivian's legal team leaked smears, but Jamison countered with transparency, inviting journalists to witness Aegis's revamped culture. His scholarship launch was quieter. The Ignite Fund, named for Innovate AI, offered $1 million to aspiring black tech founders. At a community center, a 19-year-old coder told him, "You're why I keep coding." Jamison's throat tightened. "Don't stop." He replied, giving her a card. "Apply to the fund. We need you to build the future." A powerful twist emerged. Vivian's own mother, after her daughter's conviction, became a vocal advocate against workplace toxicity. Jamison, through anonymous funding, had subtly supported her reform talks, seeing an unexpected ally. "Invite her to our nonprofit's gala." He instructed Caleb, "Let her amplify the cause." The Ignite Fund, his heart's work, had already awarded $2 million to 50 founders. Vivian's legal battles continued to crumble. Her allies' lives were ruined. Jamison reviewed HR reports. Over 50 employees once buried by Vivian were promoted. Aisha's team filed new patents. Jamison drafted new policies, mandatory bias audits by Leo's task force. His wrist still twinged from Vivian's assault, a painful reminder of his profound triumph. Jamison stood at his office window, Seattle stretching below. His city had once broken him, but now it was his crucible. His phone buzzed, a thank you from an Ignite Fund grantee launching her app. He touched the Innovate AI card. Vivian was a ghost, her power ash. His was a flame, kindling futures. He whispered to the night, a vow renewed. Justice isn't ending them, it's building better.